Welcome to the Octavius Gould Experience, and I am your host, Octavius Gould. Today, I'm excited to bring to you episode 11 titled Roadblocks to Creativity. In episode number 7, I discuss ways in which entrepreneurs could use creativity to survive. Unfortunately, the number of potential barriers to creativity is limitless. Some of these barriers may include unsupportive management, time pressures, overly rigid company policies, pessimistic colleagues, and countless others. In my opinion, the most difficult hurdles to overcome are those people impose on themselves. So let's get started. We learn while being educated that there are right answers to every problem. For example, I took tons of tests in college where I was conditioned to believe that there was only one correct answer. In reality, most problems are ambiguous. Depending on the question that a person asked, there may be several right answers. So I was intrigued to read articles about how the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL football team had to overcome the disadvantage of having limited high-end hotels in the city when they submitted a proposal to the NFL to host the 2005 Super Bowl. The team's approach was based on assumptions that there was more than one right answer to providing upscale hotel space. They got creative. They actually proposed to dock cruise ships along the St. Johns River in Jacksonville that actually served as floating hotels. This put visitors within walking distance to the football stadium. That's creativity. So after perusing the proposal, the NFL officials surprised the sports world and rewarded Jacksonville with the Super Bowl, surprising many people because it was normally hosted in larger cities. Jacksonville team officials actually need to get creative again because they had a bad season. I think they need to find some creative ways to convince the owner to hire Byron Leftwich. He's actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator whom Jacksonville drafted actually number 7 overall in the 2003 NFL draft. I think he played from 2003 to 2006 and had a great coaching career. He's now the offensive coordinator at Tampa Bay, as I mentioned to you. So Jacksonville, tap into that creativity again and hire Byron. Now, this isn't a sports podcast, so I'll stay in my lane, although I did play college football before injuries prematurely ended my career. So back to business. It's important for entrepreneurs to be logical. Logic is a valuable part of the creative process, especially when evaluating and implementing ideas. But be careful, because during my career in leadership roles and entrepreneurship, I actually learned the hard way that logic can at times restrict our creativity. Because focusing too much effort on being logical sometimes creates interference with our ability to use our intuition. What do I mean? Intuition, which is based on the accumulation of experiences and knowledges we acquire over the course of our lives, resides in our subconscious. The key is that it can be and should be unleashed. This is why so many people who consider themselves to be highly educated fail at times as entrepreneurs. So it would serve us all better to use non-logical thinking, especially during the creative process. I like to tell professionals who I mentor that one key to success in business is to avoid always blindly following the rules. We learn at an early age that we can't color outside the lines. I was bad at coloring. I occasionally went outside the lines anyway. So now I think it was maybe a good thing. My friends, sometimes creativity relies on our ability to break existing rules in order for us to realize new ways of doing things. And this goes hand in hand with some business professionals always being too practical. I like to say that freeing practicality actually frees our mind to creative solutions that we can consider that may otherwise never surface, leaving us buried under piles of what ifs. Back to that NFL talk. Coaches who have put or disregarded practicality for periods of time became some of the most innovative minds in the game. They are the winners. It's those innovative, creative coaches who did away with practicality that are winning in today's sports world. I don't care if it's baseball, football, basketball. but it's the same thing in business. I often wonder why children are so creative. I think it's because they understand that a playful attitude is key to fundamental creative thinking. Okay, maybe they don't think like me, but kids do learn while playing. If they can learn while playing, entrepreneurs can too. You got to make things fun. Work environments must be conducive to success, but they must also be fun, which unleashes people's creativity and allows us to come up with new ways of doing things and new creative ideas. If entrepreneurs played a little bit and loosened up more, they will learn to try new approaches, then discover what works and what doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying play double dutch, jump rope, or hoops or tag up in the office. It's more about having fun at times while solving problems. Entrepreneurs cannot fear looking foolish to people who lack the understanding of entrepreneurship. Some of the best entrepreneurs understood that creative thinking is no place for conformity. In my opinion, small business owners should be constantly questioning and challenging the old accepted ways of doing things. That's how they get better. That's how they become great. That's how they build sustainable success within their businesses. Because the function of an entrepreneur is to evaluate old ways of doing things, then ask, is there a better way? And that's why millennials are doing so well in progressing within their careers, because they think differently. They think more freely than some of us more senior folks. So by eliminating the old, entrepreneurs actually create the new. Entrepreneurs also cannot fear making mistakes or fear failure, because creative entrepreneurs realize that trying something new often leads to failure. However, they do see failure as an opportunity to learn and not as an end. It actually represents a learning experience on the path to their success. I learned as an entrepreneur that failure is an important part of the learning process. It actually alerts entrepreneurs when to change their course of action and take a new path. I always tell entrepreneurs, if you're going to fail, fail intelligently. Because numerous entrepreneurs fell before they succeeded. There's a list of prominent, successful business individuals within the world who failed many times over. But they were able to set aside the disappointment to try again. The key is to learn from failure. And as I mentioned, fail intelligently. I've always been struck by business professionals who limit themselves because they believe they must be Einsteins. I've heard that people who believe that they're not creative in all likelihood behave that way, making that belief become a reality. In my opinion, everyone possesses the ability to be creative. The concern is not everyone will tap into that creativity. And that's the difference between good and bad entrepreneurs. That's the difference between good and great. The most successful business owners find a way to unleash their creative powers. The best entrepreneurs are willing to take risks, explore new ideas, play a little, and ask, what if? This approach will help entrepreneurs develop new skills, attitudes, and motivation that makes them more creative, which, as I mentioned in episode 7, is one of the keys to entrepreneurial success. In closing, remember this quote by Erich Fromm: creativity requires the courage to let go of certainties. I'll say it again. Creativity requires the courage to let go of certainties. So my friends, if you're a business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur who covets compelling content on entrepreneurship or leadership, please hit like, share, and subscribe to my podcast today so you'll be alerted to future episodes. We will be inviting guests soon to provide compelling content during interviews. I will share additional entrepreneurial tips and leadership tips to give you a roadmap to success. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next episode. Carpe diem.